How's it going, everybody? It's Sean here, and I'm back today to give you guys a review of the Pharrell and Adidas Hue NMD in the Dash Green colorway. This latest release between Pharrell and Adidas dropped on October 25th for a retail price of $220 US or $300 here in Canada. The official colorway for this shoe is Glory Gray, Dash Green, and Sand. And before we go on with this review, I want to give a huge thank you over to the Adidas Canada family for sending me over this pair. So not too long ago, I reviewed the Extra Eye colorway of this same shoe. So essentially, there's not too many differences between that pair and this one. However, one of the major differences on this pair is instead of your traditional prime knit, in this case, this colorway utilizes this open mesh construction, which is done in this Dash Green color, and then underneath this, there's a secondary layer of gray. So unlike the traditional prime knit where the upper has a much smoother feel to it, in this case, this material feels much rougher and much scratchier to the touch. Embroidered at the top on both shoes, we have the Korean characters for human race, which is done in this silver finish. Moving downwards, the laces on this pair is a thick rope style lace done in white with hits of 3M. And if these white laces are a little bit too plain for you, they do give us a secondary pair of blue based laces. But between the two, I much prefer the look of the white laces. I think it's just much more of a cleaner finish, and it's a nice contrast compared to the green on the upper. These laces intertwine through these TPU cages, which is done in this semi-translucent green finish. The opening of the shoe is wrapped in this light gray colored nylon, and if you look at the interior of the shoe, it has this very textured gray finish to it. The insole of the shoe is glued directly on top of the Boost midsole, and this is done in this grayish blue finish, and we have the standard reflexology print along with Adidas and Pharrell branding. On the back heel, we have this hit of grayish blue reflective 3M, and embossed within it, we have the Adidas Trefoil logo, as well as the Pharrell Williams logo on either shoe. And then rounding up the design, the remainder of the back heel, this is covered in that same open mesh that was found on the toe box. The upper of these Hue NMDs sits atop this full-length Boost midsole. In this case, the Boost is actually painted in this sort of vintage yellow color, and this is a trend we've been seeing a lot in sneakers these days, where shoes have been coming pre-yellowed to give it that purposely aged look. And then underneath the forefoot, we have this EVA plug, which is done in this bluish shade, and this is to give you additional stability and structure along the lateral side of the shoe. Flipping this pair over to the bottom, here we have your standard outsole of your Hue NMD. This is done in this black colored rubber. We have this exposed Boost found throughout, along with this Adidas branding found on the medial edge of the midfoot. For those wondering how these fit, so to me they fit the same to me as all my other Hue NMDs, so I'd personally recommend sticking true to size. I'm a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and Adidas Canada sent me this pair in a size 10. Overall, from a length perspective, I'd say it's perfect sticking true to size. If you have really wide feet, then you might want to go up a half size. And you might feel some discomfort along this back heel area. These cages on the side really hug the back of your foot, so if you have really wide feet, your feet may experience some discomfort because these cages could potentially press into the sides of your foot. But I think for the most part, if you have narrow, normal, or even slightly wide feet, you should be perfectly fine. Next up, talking about comfort, I feel like this model gives me a good balance between softness and support. There is a full-length Boost midsole, however, with these EVA plugs on the back heel and the forefoot, this really helps contain the Boost. So it's not going to be an overly soft shoe like an Ultra Boost or a Yeezy Boost 350 V2, but instead it gives me a good balance. I feel like personally these are a shoe that I can wear for many hours in the day without feeling any discomfort or fatigue, but if you're looking for something that's really soft and really utilizes the Boost technology, then you might be disappointed with the feel of these. Finally, in terms of a quality and craftsmanship standpoint, overall there's not much that needs to be said. The one thing I wasn't a big fan of was this mesh instead of your traditional prime knit. As I said earlier, this has a really rough texture to it, especially compared to your traditional prime knit, which is much thinner and much stretchier. Beyond that though, the craftsmanship was perfectly fine. I didn't see any visible issues with my pair, which is usually the case with the Hue NMD. With all that being said now, let's lace up these Dash Green Hue NMDs and I'll show you guys how these look on feet. While it's great to see that Adidas and Pharrell are bringing back the classic OG style of the Hue NMD, this specific colorway though, well, it was okay, it wasn't my favorite. I think alongside this one, there were two other colorways which may have been Asian exclusives, and the Sesame pair really caught my eye. That pair I just felt was much more wearable and much more versatile, and I think this is a shoe that would look much better on other people more so than myself. Still, I think the Hue NMD is a very dope and very nice shoe overall. I just think that comparing this specific colorway to all the other ones in the past, I wouldn't necessarily put this near the top of my list. So let me know in the comment section down below how you guys feel about this dash green Hue NMD between Pharrell and Adidas. How do you guys feel about this specific colorway and the fact that they replaced the traditional prime knit with this mesh? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Give me a follow on Instagram at sgo8, check out my Twitter at sean.go, and visit my website at seango.ca. Before I end this video, another huge thank you goes out to Adidas Canada for sending me over this pair, and until next time, I'll catch you guys all in my next review.